Has anybody seen Lilly Gordon? A story by Sammy Kay. I woke up this morning with mixed feelings. Years ago, I remember wondering what it felt like to be old. Do you suddenly feel ugly? Will I turn all wrinkly overnight? I had to laugh at myself for allowing these silly thoughts to cloud up my mind. My name is Lilly Gordon, and today is my 50th birthday. My silly questions really won't matter because today is also the day my husband of 25 years will beat me to death with his favorite golf club. Not just any old golf club, but his favorite. Of course, you are wondering how I got to this point. I have asked myself this question many times over the last 20 plus years. I don't suppose I have much time, but I will try to make sense of my life, such as it was. My husband and I met through mutual friends. We were both up and coming business owners who shared many interests. At least I thought we did. We dated for 6 months and, with the blessings of family and friends, decided to get married. The first year of marriage was wonderful. The only low point was the mutual decision to sell my business and focus on his. We made a huge profit since my business was doing very well, actually better than his. About this time, we decided to start our family. Within 3 years, we had two beautiful sons. He was a great father. But does a great father beat the mother of his children? Hmm, I never asked myself that question. Says a lot about me, doesn't it? Or at least where my head was. The first 5 years were normal as marriages go. The first time he hit me was the night of our sixth wedding anniversary. As a surprise, I had invited the couple who introduced us to join us for dinner. He did not even remember the date and was embarrassed. In addition to all the other beatings, every anniversary after that, I received a bonus beating. The bruises were never visible, so I was not faced with the humiliation of explaining anything to anybody. He was also careful to only hit me when the boys were away from home. My husband is a pillar of integrity in our close knit community. He owns a lucrative business. He is a leader in the largest church in our city where he makes overly generous donations. Uh, like a lot of people, he thinks he can buy his way into heaven. I've always been too ashamed to tell my family or friends. I was just not strong enough to tell anyone how horrible my life has been. Several years ago, after he cracked one of my ribs, I scheduled a meeting with our pastor. Within the hour, my husband was hitting me across my back with his belt. No, the pastor never called to ask me why I never showed up for the appointment. Apparently, he knew the answer. Needless to say, I had no trust or respect for the person in the pulpit of my church. What can I say? I didn't have any respect for myself either. Yesterday, my best friend suggested we have an early dinner to celebrate my birthday. I declined because my sons prepared a surprise and planned to come over after dinner for cake and ice cream. We always planned everything around my husband's schedule, no matter how inconvenient it was for anyone else. Hmm. Last night, my prayer was somehow different. Over the years, my faith has been unstable at best. I think maybe I wanted God to just take me away, like Calgon or something. You remember those TV commercials where the woman sat down and just imagined herself somewhere else? Hmm. I realize now that I did not want to be responsible for myself or my choices. I finally asked God to give me the strength to walk away. After I finished laughing at my silly questions this morning, I called my friend and made plans to have that birthday dinner after all. We had a great time. Actually, my entire day was light and happy. Did God hear me? I will admit there were times that I thought that He didn't hear me. I was wrong. I was wrong. I just didn't listen to what He had to say. I did not tell my husband of my plans because I had decided to tell him that I was leaving him. See, God did listen. After years of research and discussions with counselors from the local women's shelter, I knew how dangerous it would be for me to tell him about my decision. In my heart and spirit, I was already free. I did not care much about anything else. Or did I? I didn't have the answer to my own question. But I know I was tired. I was surprised to see his car in the driveway of our beautiful home, a home that had become my beautiful prison. He never got home before 9, and it was just a little past 6. When I opened the door, he was standing in the foyer with an almost comical scowl. I had never, ever gone anywhere without asking him first. He asked me where in the hell had I been. I certainly can't explain it, but I smiled. I only felt the first blow. I was knocked completely unconscious with his ball fist. That's what one losing their breath sounds like. He broke 2 of his fingers. I know now that I actually died from the blows of his golf club. You know, that favorite golf club that I mentioned earlier? It must have been pretty strong because, but he only bought the best now because he broke half the bones in my body. He had lost it. It was not the smile that pushed him over the edge. It was the look of freedom that he saw in my eyes. He had to have seen it. It would have been impossible for him to miss. The first person he called was his pastor. He showed up looking totally confused. Poor man. Maybe he learned a lesson that will benefit another woman. Maybe. It was obviously too late for an ambulance, but it took them over 30 minutes to call the police. You see, they were busy praying. I wonder if one of those prayers was for me. I'm so sorry that my babies have to deal with this pain. They loved me, but they also loved their father. May God have mercy on no, our families. There will be a lot of surprise, a lot of hurt, and a lot of pain. How sad that the date of my birth is now the date of my death. I regret not telling the people who loved me the truth because my life was a lie. They really haven't seen the real Lilly in a very long time. But then neither have I. I did leave a journal for my sister. Maybe that will help them to understand how this happened. Maybe. Even now, I do not understand the reason why. But I am free, and it is time for me to go.